Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another review. And today, I have the Keurig K-Elite Coffee Maker. Now, I review a lot of different technologies, and anytime I find a product that I really love, I'll sit down, put a video together to explain that product and how it's different than other similar products you might be considering, so you have a better idea whether that product's right for you or not. And in today's video, I'm going to give you 5 good reasons why I think you're going to fall in love with this coffee maker. Now, before I get too deep into the review, I always like to start with an unboxing of a product just to show you everything that's included with the product, because anytime I'm considering something, I want to know what's in the box versus what I have to buy to actually get the product working. And the good news is, Keurig has given you everything you need to use this product right out of the box. You can unbox it, plug it into a wall outlet, add water to the reservoir, pop in one of your K-Cups, close the lid, push the button, and you've got a beautiful cup of coffee in 5 minutes. So it's really easy to use, but let's get started with the unboxing first. So when you open up the box, you'll find the coffee maker. Now, one thing Keurig did, which I really like, is instead of using all that white styrofoam that a lot of companies use that's really difficult to throw out and it goes to a landfill someplace, they've made this sort of form-fitting cardboard that fits around the outside of it that's completely recyclable. So when you open up the box, you can throw out the box, you can throw out the instructions, you can throw out the packing material. Everything is pretty much recyclable, and I like that a lot because that's less stuff that's heading to a landfill. Okay, so in addition to that, they've taped down all the surfaces that could possibly flap inside the box, which protects the unit. So when you open it up, you've got about 7 or 8 pieces of tape to take off that hold the handle down, hold the tray in, hold the reservoir on. But again, they're thinking about what the product's going to look like when you open up the box. And I think that's really important because it shows that the company cares that their product arrives at your home as it left the factory. So once you unbox it, you get that. Now inside the box, there's a lot of other stuff. Starting with this filtering stem over here. They include a filtering stem and one filtering cartridge for the bottom of it. All right, in addition to that, there's instructions on how to use this. Again, incredibly simple, but read those instructions. There's a registration card that if you register with Keurig, you'll get the warranty, plus you'll get a discount on coffee pods. There's another coupon here for additional discounts on coffee pods. So it's really nice that they give you all this extra stuff. And then there's a really nice instruction manual with literally 5 steps to show you how to make a cup of coffee. If you've ever used a Keurig product before, it operates the same as your old Keurig. It's just newer and beautiful. The other thing I liked about this, before I get into the 5 things that are going to force you to love it, not force you, but induce you to love it like I do, is the color of the product. They offered a couple of different colors. My last one was black and shiny silver, and our kitchen looks like this. So it really stuck out on our counter. I like the fact that I have a choice of different finishes on the unit, so it fits in a little bit more naturally with the counter because it does take up a bit of space. And that's the first thing I want to talk about, because when you're looking for a coffee brewer like this, there's really skinny ones that fit on your counter, and the drawback to them is a smaller reservoir for water, which means it'll work, but it'll probably only work for 3 or 4 cups of coffee, and you got to fill that reservoir. And I'm a lazy guy. I like a big reservoir. So one of the advantages to this K-Elite product is the reservoir is gigantic. It's 75 ounces of water, so I can fill it up and brew. I brew really big cups of coffee, like a 12-ounce cup of coffee. I can do 6 or 8 cups of coffee on average with a K-Cup in that reservoir size. So I like that. I'm filling it less. The next thing I like is a choice of the different sizes of coffee that you can make. So this one offers you 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12-ounce coffees. For me, I like the big one. My wife drinks a lot of tea. She likes smaller ones. But if you've got a large carafe like this, it has a spill tray on the bottom that's perfect for a standard coffee cup or even a 12-ounce coffee cup. But if you've got a stand-up one like this, you can slide that tray out, slide this underneath it, and there's plenty of room there to fit that big cup in there. So when I'm on the road and I want a cup of coffee to head out, I can brew it in here, take this out, put this spill tray back in, and I'm good to go. And that spill tray, just like with all the Keurig products, has a removable top, so as this stuff gets down in the bottom, whether it's dripping because you've just finished a cup of coffee and yanked it out of there too fast or whatever, you can take this out and wash it in your sink and you're good to go there. All right, the next thing I like is they built in a couple of advanced features here. They have a strong brew button on the top. Now, I just like regular coffee. I'm not one of those guys that goes for espresso or the heavier stuff. I just like a regular cup of coffee, and I'm a kind of middle of the road person when it comes to coffee. But I have friends that really like strong coffee. They don't put cream in it. They don't put milk in it. They just hit that button, hit the strong button, and it brews a much stronger cup of coffee. And I think it does that by slowing down the way it pushes water through the pod, which means the water's in the coffee grinds more or longer, and it's pulling more of that coffee flavor out of there. But I like the fact that it's got a strong button, because when we have a party, I can hit that. If somebody wants, hey, give me a strong cup of coffee, I hit the button, they get a strong cup of coffee. I go back to the weaker cup of coffee, which is what I like. The other thing I like is it's got an instant hot water button on it, because my wife likes oatmeal, she likes to drink tea. You can hit that button and it immediately spits out hot water that you can add to oatmeal, hot chocolate pods if you have those, or hot chocolate in a cup with powder. You can also make oatmeal with it. So that's 2 functions I like. So I've got strong and I've got hot water. it's got a cold or iced coffee button on it as well. Now, I don't drink iced coffee. My daughter loves iced coffee. And normally what she's got to do is fill a cup of ice, hit it on a lower, kind of figure out, like if it's a 10-ounce tumbler, she'll put ice in it and think, like, okay, maybe 6 ounces of coffee or 8 ounces of coffee. It's always this complicated math problem to figure out how much coffee should I brew to put in that iced coffee cup with the ice in it. Now, this one's smart enough to know that if you put in an 8-ounce tumbler, fill it with ice to the top, and hit the iced coffee button and the size, it'll actually brew the perfect amount of coffee to fill that tumbler, melt the ice a little bit to give you iced coffee pretty much right out of the machine. So that's a big advantage as well. The last thing I'll talk about is Keurig is pioneering a lot of different innovations in this sort of fast brewing, home brewing feature set. One of the things they came out with a couple of years back is the needle that actually pierces the pot on the top. They came out with another version of that was a 5-needle design. So there's a big needle in the middle and 4 needles on the outside. And that a lot of people like. It's a slower brew for your coffee and it tends to brew it a lot stronger. Again, I'm a middle of the road coffee guy. I like it quicker and I like to get out the door with it. And I'm not looking for strong coffee. This is a single needle design. So the difference between this and some of the others, single needle versus 5 needles. If you really care about that stronger coffee, I've found that the strong coffee button makes coffee that I think is comparable, because I have a 5-needle setup, about the same as the 5-needle setup. So this kind of is both of those coffee machines in one, where I've got strong, which simulates the 5-needle, and I've got regular that simulates the single needle, or actually uses the single needle. So I've got a lot of choices there, which I like a lot. The last thing I'll mention, I've already given you 5, maybe this is a bonus one, is the fact that it doesn't have a complicated digital display in the top. And I know that seems almost redundant, or I should say regressive, because it seems like a digital display would be a great thing on the coffee maker because you got all these cool things showing up on the top of it, but they break. And there's not a lot of information in there that I really need to add that complexity and cost to the coffee maker. This has a digital readout on the top, but it's not like an LCD screen. So I can make whatever adjustments I need right there. But I like the fact that I don't have to go through menus to select different sizes and different start and stop times. I can set those once and forget about them. And then if I want to brew a cup of coffee, I basically throw a cup in, throw a pot in, close the door, hit the button on the size of coffee I'm making, and literally less than a minute, I'm out the door with my coffee. So it saves me a lot of time, which I don't like giving up time to brew coffee. It's time I could be outside with the kids or having fun or driving around looking at the beautiful scenery now that spring has come. So I think it's, for me, it's sort of in that Goldilocks zone between being too small and not having a big reservoir, being big and complicated with digital displays and very expensive. It fits right in the middle, which I think, again, is the perfect coffee maker pretty much for any situation. It is a little larger than the skinnier ones that Keurig makes, so you have to consider that if you've got limited counter space. But if you've got space for it and it's in your budget, I think this is a great option. So hopefully you found this review helpful. I appreciate you watching, and until next time, as always, stay nerdy.